every time we're supposed to practice, we end up writing a song.
Well, play it, man. Play that song.
Let's do it.
It's By My Side, Manny Alexander. Take Uno. It's 2 in the morning and outside storming, and the flowers in your hair fell down and died. When you said you were leaving, it stopped me from breathing. I remember you had tears in your eyes, and I had to swallow my pride, and I pulled you tight by my side. Please take me with you when you go. You're the only real thing that I've ever known, and I can't stand being alone. No, I can't stand being alone. I see the hope in your eyes, fading out of sight like the great northern lights, and I need you here by my side, babe. I need you here by my side. I have defended a heart that's pretending to break down and hurt when you cry. And this is just a need, love. You need to be free, love. Just my best interest in mind. You have to make up your mind. Stay here and leave me behind. Please take me with you when you go. You're the only real thing that I've ever known, and I can't stand being alone. No, I can't stand being alone. I see the hope in your eyes, fading out of sight like the great northern lights, and I need you here by my side, babe. I need you here by my side, girl. I need you here by my side, love. I need you here by my side, yeah. Please take me with you when you go. You're the only real thing that I've ever known, and I can't stand being alone. No, I can't stand being alone. I see the hope in your eyes, fading out of sight like the great northern lights, and I need you here by my side, babe. I need you here by my side.
Heck yeah, man.
Thanks, guys. Thanks.
I like it.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I like the
That's
parts you
totally
changed up on it too.
You liked it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I liked it
Okay.
a lot. Yeah, very cool.
I kind of toned it down. I didn't want to, make y'all's skulls explode or something. There'd be brains.
You
I'm
don't
sure
need no
John
face
wouldn't
meltings.
appreciate, the brains everywhere and stuff.
Yeah, it always makes a mess when you do that. Places, you know?
That's why they won't let me play in bars anymore.
Are all these microphones separated where you can adjust the volume? Alright.
What song you gonna do?
I was about to say, I got a song.
What is it?
It's called Walk Hard.
So this song, this one I'm gonna play. Actually, me and Manny wrote it a couple months back, and
On my back porch.
on the back porch, and it's stuck with me ever since. It's probably As of right now, it's one of my favorite ones that I play. Well, I'm packing my bags, I'm leaving this town. Don't wait for me, darling. I lay your heart down like laughter rain. I'm there, then I'm gone. There's a 4 o'clock train, and it's headed south. Careless words are like nicotine stain the walls. In this house I was addicted to your kiss, but your love wrote the saddest of songs. And memories, please let me go. They say love is like a wildfire, this one's burning out of control. And lately you've been losing your hold. When the fire burns out, all we're left with is ashes and smoke. Call for me, ride for me, run if you must. I made it to Tupelo on a Greyhound bus, just trailing behind a long line of bitterness and pain. You claim to have love for me, but push me to the cold, leaving behind the only home that I've known. And you try to reel me back every time you say my name. And memories, please let me go. They say love is like a wildfire, this one's burning out of control. And lately you've been losing your hold. When the fire burns out, all we're left with is ashes and smoke. When the fire burns out, all we're left with is ashes and smoke. When the fire burns out, all we're left with is ashes and smoke.
Ooh, it's beautiful.
That's one of my favorites, dude.
Yeah.
That's like
Yeah,
the best.
great.
That was the best lyricism we've ever like had. Because like when we sat down that day, what we wrote, we'd started on Jack and Jane and then went straight to that one and just wrote it all the way through.
Yeah.
Like it took us what 30 minutes to get like that, the basic flow of it down, and then we just
knew.
started.
I mean, we already knew where the song was going from the first couple of lines. We're like, man, this is where it's at. And the chorus kind of explained it. Like that's what I liked about it, is we didn't know the chorus. You know, we were like, man, what are we gonna do for the chorus? And we didn't have a catch line or nothing. And then that chorus hit in like 5 seconds. We were like, that's it. Ashes and smoke. This is a dangerous relationship.
And it just reminds you how intense words can be, you know, and how they can stick with people. And that line is such a good like imagery of how negative words and careless words can stick with people, and it like forms into their identity. Like, have you ever been to a house and sometimes you can't just paint over that stuff one time. It takes coats and coats painting over that.
Another thing adding to that is because I remember my brother lived in Shelbyville. We lived in an apartment when I was 15. We lived in an apartment off Bethany Lane. It was this real rundown place, man. It was like there were 2 families of 6 or more kids on either side of us, and you could just hear constantly like banging on the walls and yelling and all that stuff. And the people that lived in the apartment before us used to smoke in there all the time. And I remember we were going through, and they had left some pictures up on the wall. And you take the pictures off, and it was just all yellow and brown around it, almost like water
I got
damage.
chills, man.
Yeah.
That gives me chills.
Jake, you got one for us, man?
Yeah. Yeah, sure do. This one I never really picked out a name for. I always just called it, what, Untitled number 37?
It's one of your Untitled.
It's one of my Untitles.
It's probably the 37th one.
Somewhere, give or take.
Oh, darling dear, there's something so forgiving about the way your hands rest in mine, that I can feel the cold winds blowing, and the winter brings the blue upon my mind. And life can change something so familiar, like the smile of an old family friend. We'll take it from the shelf where you kept it and smash it on the ground by your feet. And it seems I forgot that you loved me. My bag and book are waiting by the door. Well, my bag will get me to where I'm going, and my book will keep me searching for more. And my book will keep me searching for more. And my book will keep me searching for. Darling dear, there's something so mysterious about the way you spell both of our names. With your dotted I's and curvy punctuation, well, I could swear you trembled while you wrote. And the people say that there's so much more than to sing a song and write a melody. But the curses that you screamed in my direction seem to have a beautiful change of key. And it seems I forgot that you loved me, but my bag and photos are waiting by the door. Well, my bag will get me to where I'm going, and my photos will remind me what for. And my photos will remind me what for. And my photos will remind me what. Darling dear, there's something so frustrating about the way you swear I did not know. But I'm glad we finally got this talking, 'cause it's time that you admit that I'm gone. And it seems I forgot that you loved me, but my bag and gun are waiting by the door. Well, my bag will get me to where I'm going, and my gun will keep your eyes fixed on the floor. And my gun will keep your eyes fixed on the floor. And my gun will keep your eyes fixed on the floor. And my gun will keep your eyes fixed on the floor. And my gun will keep your eyes fixed on the floor. And my gun will keep your eyes fixed on the floor. And my gun will keep your eyes fixed on the.
That's one of my favorite ones you do, man.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that one pretty good.
When you wrote that song, I mean, where were you mentally? Like, What inspired it?
Oh, that was during
During the Great Depression?
That was during the Great Depression. Family got kicked out on the streets, starving, nickels and change.
Yeah. You sell your Model T for $600.
Exactly.
Whatnot.
Doing what you can, heading out west. No, that's it. That one I wrote. I guess maybe it was probably about a year, probably 3 years.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a little while, but it was more of putting myself in somebody else's headspace and figuring out their own reactions towards certain situations.
See, and that's crazy because like the song itself is tells such a brilliant story, and it's painted perfectly. You know, like that's why I've always loved the song as much as I did, is because it's so well. The visuals in it are perfect. You know, what was the line? With your dotted eyes and curvy punctuations, I can tell you trembled while you wrote.
Yeah.
Like, that's perfect.
Yeah. Well, I love that whole thing because I watch these crime shows, and one thing they always do is like personality analysis off of handwriting. So it's like you're creating, even just off that one line, you're creating a personality based off their handwriting.
Yeah.
You know, that's like, wow, that's cool.
That reminds me a lot of like Jim Croce. You know? Yeah. Like a lot of that flow that you got in that voice. It's like real soft, somber, simple, but the good thing about that is like the story behind it's so complex. That's one thing that you can just, you know, it's like, oh, light bulb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ezra, you want to play the Gallagher, dude?
You want Gallagher or Martin?
I'll play the Gallagher.
Someone once said it rings like a bell.
Ring Gallagher. Rings like a bell. You got a pick, Jacob?
Yeah, sure do.
You guys are playing slower songs. I guess I'm going to try to pick it up a little bit. Passion, prison lashing, scared to death. You can't imagine a command in a beauty pageant. Finish first, free folks laughing. Ring the bell, let my glowing heart beat again. Kicking in the sand, bare callous feet again. Spot on the shore, highness seated in water to the soul, celestial origin. Alright. Alright. Vapors, world of vapors. Look at how that table tapers. Down to the left, up from the right, out from the dark, and up comes the light. Holy Ghost, oh Jesus Christ, 40 days you lived on rice. Mom made pudding and she made stew, pouring some milk in the cereal too. Alright. Alright. Well, down in the cellar, the dark cold cellar, lives the soul of an angry fella. Clings to his past, afraid of the future, shakes his hand, then he shoots you. Dead, you let him win. Your poor heart been stained in sin. Roll on up, float on down. The man in the cellar, he owns you now. Alright. Alright.
Dude, do you listen to a lot of Bare Naked Ladies?
No.
Play that again. Been 1 week since you looked at me. That's what it reminded. I was like, as soon as you started going on those like that tight, fast verse, I was like, it sounds like, you know, I don't know. It's a really good song though. It's awesome, dude. I like the
There's an energy.
the reason, like when you said the man in the cellar, what did you say? Shake his hand and he'll shoot you in the back.
Yeah,
or something like that. Yeah, it's like making a deal with the devil, right?
Yeah, down in the cellar, the dark, cold cellar, lives the soul of an angry fella.
Yeah,
shakes your hand, then he shoots you. Yeah.
That's always been up there on my list of one of the favorite ones you did.